Aloha, beautiful souls. Welcome back. I am Unapologetically Lee, and I am Lee. I am very happy that you're here with me today, and so very grateful that you took the time to click onto this video. Anyways, I was in deep hibernation and really finding my energy, and it has occurred to me, the word is spiritual psychosis. It has been coming up for me quite a few times, and I didn't look it up. I don't, I'm not very scientific or anything, but I feel like when I'm tapping into the energy of spiritual psychosis, it's the idea of, the word that I hear is your mind and your mental capacity is overloaded by the amount of information that is coming in, either through downloads or through consuming content or information online or researching. I know that with my own personal experience, I'm a learner, right? I love to learn. I love to teach. And it's just innately who I am. But because I am on this spiritual journey, I learned that spiritual psychosis is a very, it's an illness that doesn't get talked about a lot. And especially when I started this journey, and I started with my friend who is from Hawaii, and I dabbled in tarot and stuff, and that kind of opened me up in Reiki. But then my experience with someone on YouTube, and if you know who it is, she was very dark, and she still does a lot of horrible things because she isn't living, authentically who she is, and she isn't connected to spirit or to her God essence, right? It's been blocked off, but anyways, I digress. And so with spiritual psychosis, like, because I was with someone like that, they didn't teach me about how can I not get wrapped up in all the information that's coming in. And because I was open to all like spiritual information and the interconnectedness of the universe, that I did feel like I was certain energies, if that makes sense. And the thing is, like, when someone, and I'm being vulnerable here, when someone who hasn't done a lot of detachment and letting go, especially of the ego in this material world, especially with labels, then it kind of allows the spiritual ego to enlarge itself and to believe that it is bigger than it is. It's in a negative form. The thing about the neutral way, the more aligned way, and the ascended, like the highest timeline, versus the one that it's more like occultish, like, where seniority rules, like someone is better than another. It's like hierarchical, if that makes sense. The lines are so blurred, and and I've been on this journey of self-discovery, of being humble, and understanding that energy that I let in wasn't truly me, because what is truly me is love, right? Love and light, and also shadow as well. I've learned that the shadow, I've was afraid of the shadow, but I've done shadow work, right? Things that trigger me, things that held me back, that made me feel small. Again, my shadows are different than other people's shadows. Everyone's shadows are different, right? Granted. But then I've been told that my shadow is also not that dark, if that makes sense. Anyways, so what Spirit wanted me to talk about, and this is something that I really wanted to speak on, was spiritual psychosis and the spiritual ego. That a lot of new people coming in, and I feel this, I feel like a lot of people are going to be more open. The channels are going to start coming in and people are going to get activated, and you're going to just start getting all this information, and I hear it's information overload. And that's the thing. And I've been channeling about, like, how do we overcome this? Like, what are the steps? The first step is to cut off, like, do a media purge, right? Don't search things online. Don't use Chat GPT. Don't go, watching educational, like, spiritual educational videos, right, to learn more. The thing is, like, I made several videos of this, and this is why it's so important in the spiritual journey. When you start on it, is to come back to center, come back to who you are, know your essence, know your energy, especially if you're empathic or highly sensitive and you enmesh with other people and you have a tendency to be codependent with people in an unhealthy way, then you need to isolate yourself in a way where you can come back to who you are. Who are you as in an essence form, right? And drop down. And this society, this world is so, well, at least in the Western world, we're so in our head, and that is spiritual psychosis, right? Is we're getting the channels and the information through our crown, and we're in our head so much. And I know different parts of the world, they don't. They tend to drop down and feel more into the body and into the heart, and also being more present, fully relaxing into presence, like teaching your body to relax in a state that you can feel your energy and your essence, and then push out all of the density in your body, right? Energetic body. And then, oh gosh, I had a word that came in and then it went away. Maybe it will come back. But being in presence, learning how to be present in everything that you do. For example, I practiced this while I was driving, and it was the most amazing thing. I felt the abundance all around me. Like, the world was abundant. I felt it. And it was so beautiful. It was full of love, happiness, joy, and all of the high vibes. And it's when you drop out of your head the thinking of, like, I have to do things, and just more of being and living your life as a human being. And the thing about, also, again, with spiritual psychosis and the spiritual ego, is that there's a sense of hierarchy, and that because I'm practicing this, that I'm better than someone who doesn't, who is superficial and who is just content in the 3D matrix, which shouldn't be that way. If you are on the highest timeline or the highest path, your highest path, then you will never compare yourself to another human being. You are one. I mean, think about what Yeshua did when he was on this planet. He did not think that he was better than anyone, He was the same as a beggar on the street, or as a merchant who was making money. I don't know. I'm just saying those things because, like, if you truly want the highest timeline and the highest vibrational path for yourself, then catch yourself when you're judging others or when you're judging yourself, and be truthful about it, and if you start to be angry with what I said, maybe there's something in you that is triggered, and that's okay. That means that that's your shadow that needs to be brought into the light, to be seen, to be like, hey, why do I feel this way? And do I want to feel this way? No, then let it go, kind of thing, and it does take time. This is why the spiritual path is for the warriors, the people who are brave enough to step outside and to make a change in their life. I'm not saying that if you're not, that you're not brave. It's just then you're content. There's no judgment. I mean, it just is the way it is. People's souls, your soul is meant to be here to do something. And if you feel like it is doing something and it's doing what it needs to do, then yes, go for it. Do it. Keep doing it. Don't stop yourself. But if your soul is unhappy, then look into that. Like, drop in and ask yourself that. Yes, you can go to readers and psychic mediums and all that, or and a friend who can read energies, but ultimately they can only read what you put out, if that makes sense. And to be honest, I read people on their highest timeline, their purest form. I can see their highest timeline. I can see. But then I'm learning how to also take into consideration someone's actual human, like where they are in human sense, right? And so it like everybody has different ways of reading. And then there are people who are veterans, right? Who have been doing this for years, and they have done so much work within themselves. And it is beautiful. There are real, pure, amazing souls out there. And if you want to know one of them is Mel Lawson 777. She is amazing. I would highly recommend her for any healings or personal readings. Anyways, she is amazing. You probably already know her because she's a lot larger than I am. But yeah, it's just, again, I hear giving yourself grace on this journey if you have fallen into spiritual psychosis, because I have. And I've experienced spiritual ego because I didn't work on letting go of those labels, those earthly labels, because I was new to it. I was never taught it to let go, to detach from as much as the labels as I can. Of course, I've heard, you can't fully let go of the ego, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I'll let go as much as I can. And of course, I still resonate as being a woman because I'm in a woman's body, right? And I have, my name, right? I have a name. I'm a mother. I go by mom, wife, daughter, and all those are human labels, but also detaching from those and being neutral. I think the whole key is being neutral, but also bringing loving, I'm saying it again, loving being where you are at in this physical world. I know a lot of spiritual people and star seeds, star beings, light workers, they feel like they don't belong. Heck, I was there. I feel like I don't belong, and there are times when I still don't feel like I belong. And the thing is, like, it's a game. Of course we don't belong because it's a game. So how are we going to maneuver within this game with ease? Is letting go of any expectation, perfection, or expectation of how life should go or what it should look like. Again, that's the mind, right? Even though I can channel, and I'm channeling my career, right, and my business, and then the human self, my lower self, my human self, is putting a an expectation on what it looks like, when I should detach from the expectation and just jot down things and be present in the moment, because I am creating that future in the now, right? By being present and allowing the information to come in whenever it comes in, and not to judge the information, just jotting it down whenever I can, or whenever you can, right? So I'm a reflection of you. So please, when I talk about myself, please, if it resonates, take it and run with it. And if it doesn't, just leave it behind. You know, this is just to bring light and awareness to the spiritual disparity of this, and then a sense of like, I'm rising, and I can, I just want more and more and more, right? Where the more enlightened you feel, the more you want. And that's not true enlightenment. Enlightenment is just being at peace with where you are at right now, and then also merging the two, right? Merging the human experience and the spiritual world. Being at peace with where you are right now, but also working towards what you want, right? Planting and sowing the seeds, right? It's not more left or right. It's smack dab in the middle. It's more balanced. You want to be balanced, right? And be an observer and not be swept up by all the information. You have to ground and be present, right? And to cut yourself off when you've channeled or tapped in for too long. You know what I mean? Especially if you're new to your gifts and abilities. No, it's not. I guess it's like, yeah, your gifts, because it's innate, right? It is until you awaken them and you discover them, right? And you're open to those gifts. Then you feel like, wow, I can't believe I can do this. Yes, of course you can. But at the same time, remember, you still live in this physical world, and embrace it. And figure out how can you make the best of your chapter in this game. Anyways, beautiful souls, I hope you found resonance and clarity and peace with this message. Know that I am not judging you, because yours truly has been through it, right? Spiritual ego and spiritual psychosis. So, and I am healing from spiritual psychosis and really grounding into presence and merging the two, like spirituality and the physicality of it. And it is a beautiful journey. I hope you have a beautiful day, night, evening. Oh, that's all the same, right? Or afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. And I will see you next time. Bye.